Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Jaisha. In today's video, I am going to be giving you 3 different methods on how to dry your curls, and all 3 of these methods have been a part of my routine at some point in time. So I'm going to be running through each one and giving you the pros and cons. So if you are looking for ideas on how you should be drying your natural hair, or you want to probably switch up what your drying method is, hopefully you find this helpful. So let's go. So the 3 that we're going to be talking about today is air drying versus a hooded dryer versus a diffuser. So I'm going to be talking to you guys while I do my wash and go today, and I already applied my leave-in conditioner. It's the same. Today's combination is Uncle Funky's Daughter Curly Magic and the Inner Scent I Create Hold Gel. It might be time for me to buy another one of these pretty soon because it is so good. Like, so good. By itself and paired with others. Now, I've only tried this combination once before, but it was really good. The Curly Magic is first, and then the I Create Hold goes on top. Obviously, I put my leave-in in already. I use the same exact leave-in conditioner every single time, so if you ever don't see it or don't hear me say it, it's the same. Kinky curly, not today. Now, your first option for drying is air drying. I used to air dry a long time ago, back when I had first big chopped and I was starting my curly hair journey, because I was natural before that, but I had a lot of heat damage, like severe heat damage, so I cut all my hair off. At that time, I was completely off of heat because I was afraid of damaging my hair again, so I would air dry. And of course, when you don't have a lot of hair, it's simple. It doesn't take super long for it to air dry, and it's healthy if you are staying away from heat. That's, probably the biggest pro of air drying your hair, and it's less time for you to actually be doing your hair. Once you style your hair, you're done. You just go on about your day and let your hair dry on its own. Multitasking, right? The other side of that, though, is the con. You might be outside looking like a wet dog with your hair wet, just doing what you're doing. I don't know. So that's one thing. Some people don't care about that. You can go on, or maybe let it dry for a little bit first. The other thing that I don't like about air drying is it takes a really long time for your hair to fully dry. So like I said, when my hair was short, this wasn't an issue, but as it got longer, it took longer for my hair to fully dry, and I got to a point where my hair was taking a full 24 hours to dry, like an entire day to fully be dry. That can be frustrating because even if I did my hair early in the day, I'd go to sleep that night and wake up with hair still wet sticking to my head. Like, usually my roots would not be dry. I also noticed there's more frizz that comes from air drying. I don't know what it is, but it definitely would be a lot more frizz for me. And it could just be like the manipulation, because if your hair is not fully dry and you're touching it, I also feel like the elements could play a role too, depending on the season or where you live. Your hair is not really having a chance to set before it fully dries, and that could be contributing to frizz and less definition when your style is complete. Is it windy? Is it humid? Is it rainy? Those type of things can contribute to your hair frizzing up while it is still drying and not getting the definition that you want. Speaking of the weather, the most obvious thing probably would be you can't air dry in the winter months. When it's cold outside, you're not going out with a head of wet hair. You're not going outside with soaking wet hair or even damp hair, because that's just asking to get sick. If you are on a no heat journey, air drying is probably the healthiest option. This is looking good. Moving on to a hooded dryer. This has been how I dry my hair for quite some time. up until recently. I had a little switch. A hooded dryer can evenly dry your hair. The air is circulating around your whole head, so you don't have to worry about certain parts not being dry necessarily, depending on the length of your hair. And then it's less work than holding a blow dryer with a diffuser. What I really love about a hooded dryer is that it's for all hair types, it's for all hairstyles. You could be doing a wash and go, a twist out, a flexi rod set, a roller set, and it's going to set your style in place and evenly dry it. So the fact that it's multi-use, like multi-purpose, you're getting more bang for your buck. Some of the not so great things about a hooded dryer: if you have very long hair, the hooded dryer cannot get to your ends. It's sitting on top, so all of this might get dry, but all of this down here, what's hanging out, it's not gonna get dry. I know for me, a hooded dryer, usually it can't dry my roots to completion. So I guess because of the thickness or density of my hair, a lot of it gets dry, but then some of my roots and like the perimeter of my head is a little bit harder to dry because my hair is kind of big. Now the last thing about a hooded dryer, and this is like a little bit debatable, is that any type of heat has the potential to cause damage. I personally feel like the risk is very low with indirect heat, which a hooded dryer is not direct heat. So if you're using it on the highest setting and the heat is very hot on a continuous basis, yes, I can see how higher heat could be higher risk of damage, but I've never experienced any heat damage from a hooded dryer. Not saying that it's impossible, but something to be mindful of. I use the medium setting, so the heat is not intense. And again, I haven't experienced any issues or heat damage from using a hooded dryer. Last one is going to be a diffuser. How does diffusing compare to air drying or a hooded dryer? So of course, a diffuser is an attachment that you put on the end of your blow dryer, and it helps you to blow dry your curls in a way that don't disturb your curl pattern. This has more recently become my method of drying my hair, and it has actually proven to be the quickest, which took me by surprise. But like I said, I'm newly converted to diffusing my hair, but I love it so far. So obviously the biggest pro for me is that it is the quickest, and it's giving me the best volume and definition out of either. When I sit under a hooded dryer, my hair is super flat because a dryer freezes your hair in place. It sets your style in whatever form that it's in, so that doesn't give a lot of volume, so it's usually pretty flat after I sit under a hooded dryer. Diffusing, best volume, best definition, but diffusing can also cause a little bit more frizz. And I guess that's probably where the volume comes from, is because it does cause a little bit of frizz. Nothing crazy though. And I really try to minimize frizz as much as possible, but what I get with my diffuser is totally worth it to me. And again, just like with the hooded dryer, if you're using high heat, there could be the potential for heat damage. That is a risk if you're using a high heat setting on your hair. So something to be mindful of is the power of your blow dryer and the settings that you have it on. If it's super hot, you may want to be using a heat protectant before you diffuse. I stick with the low or middle setting, and it still provides me with the amount of heat that I need to dry my hair in a few minutes. So quick recap. The best for healthy hair, no risk of damage, is going to be air drying. However, it's going to take the longest. The best in terms of a multi-use product is going to be a hooded dryer, because you can use it for so many different kind of styles. Just don't get that heat too high. And the best in terms of time is definitely 100% a diffuser. Again, just don't put that heat too high. Also wanted to point out, you don't have to choose one method. You can choose a combination of two, or you can do a combination of all three if that's what works for you. I just finished doing my hair and I let it air dry for a little while because I wanted to go make a little snack, and now I'm about to diffuse to finish the process. When I used to sit under a hooded dryer, I would do that for a little bit of time, and then I would use the diffuser as well to get my roots and whatever else the dryer couldn't get. So don't limit yourself to just one. If it doesn't work, you can do a combination or two. Whatever gets the job done. Okay, these are my final results from diffusing my hair. It is 100% dry, and you can definitely see that volume that I was talking about and the definition. Well, the definition is more so from the product combination, but nonetheless. And these results, I have not stretched my hair or picked it out to add volume or anything like that. I simply diffused it and this was it. And my diffusing time was only 10 or 11 minutes to dry my whole head. You cannot beat that. I am going to try to insert some photos of my diffusing results compared to my hooded dryer results to see if you can see the difference side by side. I don't even know if I have anything from when I used to air dry because it was so long ago, but I will try to find that too, just so you can kind of see the difference in what the outcome is. So that's it. I hope you found this helpful and you got some tips and tricks on how to dry your hair. Switch it up if you need to, add something in there if you need to. Please hit the thumbs up button if you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos from me, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.